That thumbnail, oh my gosh. So I got a few minutes. I'm going to do this early thing that I do when I have the time, which isn't very often because a lot of times it's a meeting. It's not time, it's Patrick, okay? So anyway, I feel like every now and then someone new comes along, and I just feel like it warrants saying that sometimes, things are going to be a little spicy. Sometimes things are going to be really sweet. Sometimes things are going to be like, wait. And it's who I am. And I'm learning to accept it. And there was a point when I was like, wow, I wish I were like, well, especially at the beginning. I was like, I wish I were softer and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, ultimately, at the core of who I am and what I hope to do, it's like I'm not interested in endless cycles of healing. I'm not interested in a life full of shadow work and very little else. Like, I don't know how people, let me not go too far. But like, I don't want to be one of those people who was like, I've been on a spiritual journey for 20 years and life is still hell. Like, I don't want to be one of those people. And I think, I literally started my spiritual journey to like not have my life like that because I've experienced like minimal gains, minimal progression, but not really dealing with facing the big stuff. And so whenever I got a big opportunity to like significantly change my life, like the big stuff that I wasn't dealing with, it would be more present. And then things would fall apart and I wouldn't do it. And I didn't want that life anymore. So I'm, I guess, more interested in progression, evolution, change. And sometimes it's like, could I find a softer way to say stuff? Sure. Will I do it? Maybe sometimes. Sometimes it's just going to be what it is. And I think also it's this energy where it's like, because before I started this, I heard that like I got my ticket for the long way round. And I'm not trying to take the long way if I can take a shorter way personally. But I think sometimes we get caught up in like, well, it's not my fault. I didn't cause this, so I shouldn't have to do anything. Or like any number of a woe is me story. And in Patrick's world, it's become like it doesn't matter who started it. It doesn't matter how much control I have or don't have. At the end of the day, I'd rather do something to like change the situation if I don't like it. And I feel like every time I witch energy comes up to me, which I'm supposed to be channeling, it's just like we found so many ways to not take responsibility, to not take action. And it's this like, it's become a very spiritual, out of sight, out of mind thing where it's like, well, if we can get something out of our sight and if we can get it out of our minds, then it will change. And that works for some stuff. But when you go from like the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, where you're like, we're literally almost being tasked with rebuilding every single system, with rewriting the world instead of just allowing it to be rewritten. And if like you never pick up the pen because it's just like things don't get done. It's all about Rob. Good morning. So I got to go on like really early if I want to see you. It's fine. How you doing, buddy? It is though. It's coming to that time where it's just like, are you gonna do something or not? And I was thinking they do say that Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are like the universal signs. I guess it's the last four, and it gets us closer and closer to death, and then the rebirth into Aries, right? Um, and with Aquarius, there was an energy of like, with Capricorn, it was this energy of everything that lies beneath the surface, things that have a depth to them. And Aquarius was the insoluble. And it's energies like where we're hitting walls, things that aren't going to break down or things that won't just make themselves known to you. And then Pisces was like, are you going to do something or are you going to cry about it? And then you're going to cry more because you didn't do anything and things still aren't working out your way. Now, could I have been like, okay, so we got 3 cards today. The bottom of the deck is higher perspective. I got to make this quick because, like, I got to go to work soon. So we have higher perspective, which actually came out in the Hey Siri, turn lamp brightness to 75%.
Okay, I set the lamp to 75%.
That doesn't really help. That higher perspective. I should turn this light off. 1 second. And that card came out in Calling All Retroheads. All right. Right? I was like, well, if I make it less bright, maybe it'll be less bright. If you make it less bright, it'll be more bright. Does that work? Hey Siri, turn lamp to 100%. Siri's not even listening. It's fine. I'm not going to get stuck on this. It's higher perspective. The 3 cards that came out, it's manifest, the void, and paradox. There's almost something about how, like, the old way of manifesting things is dead. And it feels like it's dead because there was never really any life to it. With the skull coming out and like that ring of broken earth. It's an energy that took and it drained and it siphoned life. And life is, as an element or as a thing in itself, life is very much a what for what. It's this for that. You eat food. Those nutrients are broken down and then retaken up into your body, and then you excrete waste. And there are organisms who that waste is their food, and then they give back to the earth, right? When we breathe in oxygen. We breathe out carbon dioxide, which the plants breathe in and then breathe out oxygen. And everything, it's almost like everything starts with the photosynthesizers, with those that take sunlight and then use that inside to internally create some kind of energy source, right? And then the food chain begins. But in the ways we live our lives and in the ways we go about acquiring things, especially with like hoarding mentalities, there's never a give back. And it reminds me of the giveaway card in the shamanics and how we expect universe, the spirit, earth to just continue to give and give and give and give and give. I mean, it's been a lot of, that level of that flavor of a lot of stuff for a minute. It's like The Secret. It's like, oh, you can manifest like millions, and I manifested this and that using The Secret, and it's what draws people in. I hear the ambulance. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up. And then the void is here. The void is here almost with the, it's almost like an energy where like we've tapped it out. Everything that could be just given away has been given away. And it's that energy where we're reaching the point where we have to do something. And what it does is it makes us like independent, right? It's almost like it's time to grow up. So I'm not just going to continue to give you everything. Like go out and get a job, learn how to work for it. because there's going to come a point in time where it may be necessary. And it's been that point in time where it's been necessary for a good minute now. And for some people, it's like when it became necessary, everything that they had stored up, everything that they had learned or whatever, it was just like gone. Now, granted, circumstances have been like extra extenuating lately, but still it's this energy where it's like, well, like, we're all human and we have moments, sure, but like if you've been doing this thing, like, shouldn't there be more? I don't know. Because they're trying to let people know the secret. Because when the secret was a secret, it wasn't fair for the people who knew the secret and for the people who didn't know the secret. So it was trying to bring a Libran balance to the situation. And then we have paradox. But it feels like in paradox, like something completely new is being birthed from the void. Like the void and paradox and manifest, it's like it's a deeper understanding of how the void works, right? It's almost like that Abraham Hicks. If you want something, your higher self rides a rocket of desire to the vortex and then it brings it to you. And then it's almost like if you want something, your higher self rides the rocket of desire to the vortex where it has to fill out paperwork and do all this other stuff. And then if you uphold your end of whatever it agrees to, then you get this stuff. But it's a completely different dynamic. Everything. Oh my gosh. Not everyone knows, but you can tell. You can tell when it's Victoria. And then higher perspective is here. So that's everything I wanted to say. It's time for me to get back on the road. I hope you all have a good one, everyone. Whenever you see this, it was so nice to see you, Rob. I feel like I should just like reach out someday. I say that every single time I see you, but I continue to not do it. I hope you all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Emphasis on acting, emphasis on alignment, and emphasis on experience. And whatever you need along your path, journey, or way, I hope you find it. And if that is someone with a softer voice who will be like, everything is great, things are coming to you, you don't have to do a thing. Like, I hope you find it. You're probably not gonna find it here. But I hope you find it wherever you are. And it's like it's some of the stuff I receive, I'm like I don't even know if this is something that people are capable of at this point. I feel like especially like to ask someone to like take action for things that you're not responsible for if you desire to see a change and change isn't happening in a time where there's like the least amount of control. But like that was literally the first step the day before yesterday. It was with that devil energy and either choices or decisions or something like that. And it's like when you think that you don't have choices or when you think that you don't have options or when you feel like you're being controlled or you have no control, it's realizing that you do. And it's taking control in substantial ways, not just taking control in ways where you surrender everything to the universe and hope that the universe does it for you. Because it's to take. Now, substantial whatever can happen in any number of ways, right? You can hold a belief and stand in it with enough integrity and fortitude and strength that you become the pillar that makes that true. And when it becomes true, the universe validates all things that are true, even relative and subjective truths. It can do that too. But it's to make your truth more absolute and to not do it in a way that is inflexible or in a way that doesn't fit the framework. Because I think a lot of times we try to break the framework, and if you break the framework, you have to have something that now supports what it is that you believe. And it has to be strong enough to hold it as it becomes denser and denser and denser and then settles into your reality. If it doesn't have that support, it's going to crumble and fall apart, or it's never going to make the journey in the first place. And I guess by like talking about it or introducing it in a way, we can begin to like think about it, and like it percolates through our brains and we can work with it. And so I guess it makes it more possible. But every time I encounter the energy, I'm like, I don't know if people can do this. So I'm just gonna like, it's like, well, if you talk about it, maybe they can. God helps those who help themselves. I've heard that. I feel like these agree because it's like we've taken until there was nothing left to take. Sorry, but everyone who watched The Secret and mastered it before, they used it all up. You got to find a new secret. That lane is dry now. They didn't leave any for you, but that's what people do. We saw it with the toilet paper. We're not always like, maybe I should leave some for someone else. We're not always the most considerate of other people, even especially when we're in the space. Excuses. I mean, it's true, but I don't know. All right. I will catch y'all later. Thank you again, Rob. It's always a lovely time. Um, and I'll see y'all maybe later today. Happy Restmas. I know Russ said that he's on a journey and he may not be, he's going to be in the moment. He's like, I'm not replying to comments. I'm not uploading. It's my day. I was like, take a day. You deserve it. All right. I got to go. See y'all later. Bye.